What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to What If Naruto Had a Poison Kekkei Genkai. I don't know why it took me so long to think of this idea, but I was watching a clip of Naruto when Shisui ends up defeating some guy who uses bugs to kill him. And it turns out it was a poisonous bug. And I was like, oh my, whoa. I just realized he's probably the only person who ever dies to poison, and the other person who almost dies to poison is Kankuro, but he doesn't. So then I was like, wait, does anybody in the Naruto verse have a poison Kekkei Genkai? So you know me, I started looking around, I started digging, and when I realized nobody had it, I literally, I had an epiphany. I was like, oh my, I need to do this. So here I am dropping the entire movie of this. So if you guys go on to enjoy, make sure to definitely smash a like on this video, because I'm serious. It's like 3 a.m. right now. I should be asleep, but inspiration hit. So definitely leave a like, considering I'm probably going to be up for another 4 hours making this. But I digress. Anyways, enjoy.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
When I tell you that this one's gonna start off with a bit of a bang, I mean it. I mean, it starts off with Minato and Kushina. Just 9 months later, some baby pops out, and all of a sudden we got a dude with a mask, freaking freak, watching bro get born. He steals him, runs away, proceeds to unleash the tailed beast, gets bodied, and then suddenly we got a big little claw just stabbed into some kid, right? This is the scene that we're just gonna start on. Naruto is a baby, and he's just inside of his little thing. You know, he's crying, he's stressed out. Kurama's been roaring for the past 5 minutes. Minato and Kushina are both bleeding on top of him. And what would you do if you were a baby? I mean, I know you probably don't remember, but let's say you're a baby and you see 2 people bleeding out in front of you dying, and then you see this gigantic fox behind you. I'm pretty sure you're gonna cry like nobody's business, right? So that is the first thing that Naruto does. Naruto cries like never before. Like no baby has ever cried in the history of history, right? And you know what Naruto was kind of born with? Poison Kekkei Genkai. Yeah, so what happens is Naruto's skin, out of his skin itself, gas just literally starts pouring out of his pores, kind of like Midnight from MHA. And this gas is green. It just literally goes everywhere. This gas is just spewing everywhere. And Naruto is just a baby, mind you. Bro has no say or nothing in what's going on right now. He's straight chilling. You know what I mean? Actually, no, he's not, because he's crying. He's not feeling good. So just know Naruto is having a terrible day. But what would pretty much end up happening is that Naruto, because he's having such a horrible day, mind you, would proceed to unleash the most insane gas that he has in his arsenal right now. Gas. No, but seriously, poisonous gas, right? Just like in that video, RDC World villains and stuff like that. If you guys have seen it, how villains that use poison be like in anime, that's pretty much going to be Naruto in and of a nutshell for this entire video. It's going to be amazing. But no, seriously, Naruto is pretty much going to just unleash poison, and I'm just going to say it now. Minato and Kushina don't even get off by the pain of Kurama. Not to mention Kurama himself, who, by the way, does, I think, have a nose. Yeah, he does have a nose, I think. And, he inhales it, and bro dies. Literally, bro killed chakra itself. Bro's poison was so broken that he literally killed chakra. How do you do that? He literally kills chakra. It makes no sense, but it happens, okay? It happens. And just know, Minato and Kushina are dead, and so you would think to yourself, okay, Hiruzen sees this green gas, he's probably not going to get close to it. Nope. Hiruzen does the complete opposite of that and decides to, okay, wind style, wind whatever jutsu, right? And the wind pretty much proceeds to blow the poison away, right? So Hiruzen walks in thinking everything's fine, but he sees Minato and Kushina's body, and from their mouths and throats is coming out this weird bubbly substance. So he realizes, They died. He turns to the left, sees Kurama, who's literally just fading out of existence, back in a natural chakra. He's gonna come back in 10 years, mind you. So yeah, definitely gonna have to be prepared for that. He's gonna just appear in the village and someone's gonna have to become the Jinchuriki some way or another, right? But no, what pretty much ends up happening is that Hiruzen looks at the baby Naruto, right? He's crying. He doesn't know what to do. He's having a very, very hard time. Bro was just born and a lot of things are going down. And just know, Naruto gets picked up by Hiruzen, right? Who shortly after touching him gets bodied. I mean, he dies to poison, because keep in mind, Naruto is still not having a great day and his skin is straight poisonous if he wants it to be. And right now, he's in distress, so he definitely wants it to be. His body is producing so much gas at a rate that Hiruzen just can't defend off of it. And once he realizes that it was Naruto, it's already too late. Hiruzen dies and they literally have to appoint the next Kage ASAP. Now, the village elders, I was thinking to myself that this was going to be a story where Danzo becomes Kage and he gets what he wants and Naruto grows up in this tyrannical village of some sorts. And if you guys ever do want me to do a video like that where Naruto grows up in like a tyrannical village, let me know, bro. I would love to do something like that. But for now, let's just say that he doesn't become Kage because they're like, okay, you know, the other person who was running in line for Kage is Orochimaru or Fugaku. Orochimaru deserted the village, so let's give it to Fugaku. And so that is exactly what they do. Now, Fugaku would quickly end up arriving on the scene and people would have ended up getting close to that scene, but like if you literally got close, you would just die to the gas that was present. Eventually, one man would end up arriving smarter than anybody else that was there, Danzo. Danzo Shimura, upon seeing that, would instruct one of his Anbu members to go over, pick up that baby, and as fast as he can, like, he would basically ask them to form like a jutsu, like a barrier on top of it, right? And then they use the genjutsu to cover it up. And then Danzo just kind of like keeps Naruto baby like that until he passes out, finally calming down. And pretty much what Danzo goes on to do is just, bro, literally kidnaps baby Naruto, who just finished offing Kurama, Minato, and Kushina, mind you, right? And Hiruzen, I almost forgot about Hiruzen. He offed Hiruzen as well. Bro literally one-shotted a Kage without even knowing it. That is just, like listen to that. That speaks volume about how powerful Naruto's going to be. And just know that since they have to end up appointing Fugaku as one of the Kages, or the Kage, sorry, this pretty much ends up meaning that the Uchiha problem that happens in the original doesn't. So things like the Uchiha coup d'etat does not ever end up happening. And with Fugaku in power, he decides that he wants to put up the age for shinobis. People can officially become Genin at the age of 14, and he wants his son Sasuke to remain in the academy as long as he possibly can. After seeing how Itachi dealt with the problems of the world, he just wants Sasuke to not have to be dealing with that for longer. So let's say that that's why he stays. But all the while that this is happening, Konoha would actually be in so much peace. Like, Konoha would be in the biggest peace that they've ever had. Fugaku as Kage has to be one of the greatest decisions ever. The Uchihas are still there. The Hyugas are still there. Fugaku as Kage would actually be a fair Kage, and he wouldn't ostracize anybody. He would actually make things better. He immediately gets down to business. Missions come in even better than before. And because he's more competent than Hiruzen, he would of course figure out the secret to paperwork. Shadow clones. He's not an incompetent loser. He just uses shadow clones and spends time with his family at home, sometimes doing different things, and ultimately Fugaku would get stuff done. Danzo would still be one of the advisors and stuff like that, and he would still be running the secret Anbu behind Fugaku's back, but Fugaku doesn't know that. And for all of these years, like, Danzo would straight just be in the kitchen cooking. Bro is just, he's deviously planning, awaiting his next move. I don't know if you guys have seen regular show, but if you guys have and you get this reference, please let me know down below in the comments. Big Head. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Big Head, the character that we see in the Rassle Frassle episode when Pops runs him over, and then like for the next like season or two, he literally just waits in the bushes and he's like, not yet, not yet. Like, he's literally just plotting his revenge. That's pretty much what Danzo's doing this whole time. He's literally just plotting like, not yet, you know, like being just a weirdo. But ultimately, as all of this is happening and everybody else in this village is having just the greatest life, everything is going just like anybody could probably want things to do, Naruto literally doesn't even exist to the normal public, and he's even presumed dead for years until he's finally assigned onto Team 7. Now this would be years and years later. This is 14 years on, to be exact. After these 14 years happened, 10 years would have passed. Fugaku would have ended up seeing the Nine Tails, and bro, instantly Mangekyo Sharingans the Nine Tails into submission. From here, he proceeds to lock the Nine Tails into his younger son, Sasuke Uchiha. And I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are like, bro, come on, why would you have to give the Nine? Trust me, just know, just know. I'm not going to explain anything, but just know, okay? Naruto, he doesn't need it. Trust me, okay? Just trust me on this one, okay? I'm cooking. Let me cook, all right? But no, yeah, literally what pretty much ends up happening is eventually 14 years would pass, right? And once those 14 years pass, Naruto would legit have known nothing, and I mean nothing, but kill or be killed. Naruto for the past 14 years has met a grand total of 7 people other than Danzo, and 6 of them he killed because Danzo wanted him to test his strength on those ninjas. And once he finally offed them, Danzo was happy. He then proceeded to just have Naruto never actually meet people and just kill ninjas. He would use genjutsus to make Naruto more powerful. He would use drugs to amplify Naruto's abilities. He would literally beat into Naruto, kill, and get stronger. Strength. Like, that's literally all that matters. Just imagine a super soldier, like, on crack with poisonous gas, and just he's able to just one-shot people if he really wants to. That is the kind of thing that we're talking about that Danzo would create. Danzo quite literally creates like the most unstoppable broken monster in like the history of ever, okay? And Naruto is just completely unaware that he's even stronger than Danzo, because one time Naruto would have like tried to step up to Danzo, and obviously after all these years Danzo was able to create an antidote to Naruto's poison, so Naruto wasn't able to do anything to Danzo, and Naruto just never knew that. But since he thinks that Danzo's stronger than him and that he's just immune to his poison because he's been around him for so long, Naruto just never tries to rebel against Danzo. But ultimately, after years and years of training, like I said, Naruto quite literally would be nothing but just kind of like Sai, but like not as clueless, because Naruto would have been taught things like manners and stuff like that by Danzo, considering the fact that his plan all along was to get Naruto to turn to the age of 14, and once he was strong enough, try to kill the Hokage Fugaku and ultimately take over the village to become the tyrannical figure that I was pretty much like kind of foreshadowing at the beginning of this video, right? But no, what we would end up actually seeing this time around is Naruto just literally walking into the classroom. Naruto, he has green eyes, okay, because he didn't want to be like mistaken for Minato. And what Danzo would have done to Naruto's hair is like bleach it. So you know how his blonde hair actually looks like Minato's? Instead, now it kind of looks more like Ino's hair, where it's like bleached and he has green eyes. Why does he have green eyes? Because Naruto would be using these like contact lenses for his eyes that change the eye color of them, right? And I could just say transformation jutsu, or I could also say genjutsu placed on them so that other people perceive them as green, but I think just basic contact lenses would actually work and would be just a whole lot more simpler for me to explain. But anyways, I digress. Okay, continuing on with the story though, Naruto walks in the classroom, and you know, he pretty much would be introduced to the classroom by Iruka before he even starts telling everybody what the teams are going to be. Naruto would sit down towards the back of the classroom, and a bunch of the girls, upon seeing Naruto, green eyes, blonde hair, and like tall and just like ripped, and he just looks good, going towards the back with this just serious expression on his face. Oh, let me tell you, it'd be purring for these girls, and they want my boy Naruto, but of course they can't have him. And even if they did get him, he's void of so much personality that it would be the most boring person ever to date. But just know, Naruto ultimately doesn't get pressed by them, and they all just look. They kind of just hit the damn, he's fine, and then don't say anything because they're too shy. But ultimately what pretty much ends up going down is everybody would get put on the same team as the original, and Naruto eventually would be placed on Team 7, whereas he's going to be having 2 teammates, Sakura Haruno, who's actually going to be chasing after my boy's meat stick alongside Sasuke's, and he's also going to be having Sasuke Uchiha, the Uchiha's prodigy, on his team. And Sasuke at this point is so cocky and just so chill that he doesn't even know why he's in the academy or is even being placed on a team. In Sasuke's eyes, he should definitely already be in the Uchiha police force. Actually, no, that's not even a thing. In the Uchiha, in the Anbu, because it's now led by Fugaku, and it mainly has Uchihas, it has some Hyugas in there, and it has a couple of other members of branch families that are very powerful, right? But just know that. And the bottom line ultimately for what's pretty much going down here is that Naruto would kind of just sit there like quietly, not saying anything, until ultimately Sakura pulls up and tries to break the ice. But Naruto, he's just not having it. Like, he looks at her, and when she speaks to him, he'd be like, hey, what's up? And she'd be like, what's your name? And he'd be like, oh, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. Now, actually, no, I don't think I could give him that name, because if I do, people are going to be suspicious of whether he's the son of Minato. So let's say Menma. His name is Menma. Menma. I don't know. Menma last name escapes me. Okay, Menma last name escapes me. That is his name. Okay, because I don't know his last name. You guys could go ahead and make it up in the comments and just like, I'll maybe like your comment if I like the name. But anyways, continuing on with the story. Naruto doesn't really give her much of an interaction, not because he wants to ignore her, but just because Sakura feels like he's just giving her so little energy that there's no point, right? So she ultimately leaves him alone and goes over to Sasuke to try to bug him and talk to him, and they would talk for about 10 minutes until ultimately Sasuke just kind of folds his arms and would just sit there being like, are you serious? Like, this guy's really this late? But ultimately, Kakashi ends up finally arriving, and once he does, he just goes on with spooing to them about how they just need to meet him up on the roof. Following this, introductions are had, and Sasuke would have a very, very different introduction than they would in the original, saying that his goal is to become Kage after his father and to surpass his older brother. Also, to show everybody that, you know, he can truly be the strongest ninja ever. Naruto would go next, and he'd be like, my goals, none of your business. My aspirations, none of your business. My likes and dislikes, none of your business. And that's literally all he says. He literally just copies Kakashi, and Kakashi would be like, you don't get to do that. Naruto would look at him dead in the eyes and be like, I just did. Like, leave me alone. And then Sakura, the trash bag, goes. She's had slightly a bit more character development, so she's not as annoying because she had 2 more years of growing up, but she still is very much so annoying. By the way, she still does have her long hair, and yeah, let's just end it off there. Okay, yeah, she still has her blonde hair and all that stuff, so yada yada yada. And what we pretty much end up seeing following this is just Kakashi telling them that, hey, the bell test tomorrow, be there, don't eat. Okay, got it? Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, fine. And that's pretty much all that we end up getting to see from Kakashi and from Team 7 and the entirety of this altercation at all. So Naruto goes home. Bro has just like a bowl of like cereal, or actually no, not even cereal, because Danzo refuses to let Naruto eat anything other than something optimal. So Naruto goes home and eats like the most like nutritious meal ever. It's kind of like void of any flavor. Bro, his plate is so flavorless, he literally calls it flavor. Andrew, take quote. You said what? You said Tada? I don't know. Anyways though, what pretty much ends up happening after this is that the very next day would finally come around, and on this particular day, Naruto would end up arriving right on time. Now, Kakashi still does take forever like he does in the original, and he would still try to tell the team that he was lost on the path of life, that, you know, they do need to forgive him, that he walked past the black cat. But Naruto, seeing as he's void of personality, doesn't even go after Kakashi. And so everybody else, seeing that Naruto doesn't care, would kind of just decide to follow his lead, saying that if he's not going to make it a big deal, they're not going to make themselves look bad by making it a big deal. So ultimately they listen to Kakashi telling them that what they're going to be doing is having a bell test. And Sasuke, being a bit more cockier than he would be in the original, would start everything off immediately by rushing at Kakashi. Now, do keep in mind that because Naruto had 2 extra years worth of training, he is going to be a whole lot stronger. At bare minimum, Chunin exams level Sasuke with a 1 and 2 Tomoe's Sharingan in another eye, and Sasuke would immediately rush in towards the direction of Kakashi, who would, just actually have to like put his book away and try against Sasuke. It gets to the point where Sasuke quite literally actually has to force Kakashi into opening a Sharingan. However, because the Uchihas are in power, Sasuke's not exactly going to be too freaking out as much as he was in the original about Kakashi's Sharingan status. And so Kakashi would kind of just chill. Like, Kakashi is able to not really focus too much on that or care if Sasuke like realizes, oh, hey, I have the Sharingan. So everything is more than smooth than you would think. And what would pretty much end up happening here is that Naruto, after eventually watching Sasuke's fighting style and being told by Danzo not to show off his poison yet until like he truly needs it, Naruto would blitz in there using his body flicker before then grabbing at one of his swords and then slashing at the direction of Kakashi, almost actually cutting, bro. Realizing that he's moving too fast, he would cut down his speed a little bit and then ultimately get into a position of fighting with Sasuke. But fighting side to side, both of them end up pressing Kakashi to the point that Kakashi literally has to go all out, and Kakashi would just be shocked at the fact that he even has to use half of the strength that he's using right now. Because it's like, bro, how? Like, these kids are genin. And even though Kakashi had 2 extra years of training, which means that Kakashi is significantly a bit stronger, this would be the only reason that Kakashi wouldn't be getting absolutely completely bodied. So ultimately, because Kakashi had those extra 2 years of training, had Uchihas around, had Fugaku to push him to go on more missions, I'm going to be saying that even though Kakashi was quote unquote going full power, I'm going to say that his full power was more like back like 2 years full power, not current full power. So once Kakashi finally decides, I bet, he whips out his Mangekyo Sharingan ability and would immediately begin bodying both Sasuke and Naruto. Not really Naruto, because he's not actually going all out and he just wants to give that perception, but ultimately Naruto would be able to quickly create a shadow clone, cut one of the bells off, capture it in his hand, and stop the fight and say, I did it. Kakashi would look down at his waist and be shocked that Naruto was actually capable of taking one of the bells. And then Sasuke would turn to himself and say, yeah, I did it too. Dangling one in front of him, saying that this test was way too easy. That it's lucky that they weren't trying to just completely kill one another, considering that Kakashi would definitely have won that. But that's for now. As soon as he gets a couple more years of training, it's over for Kakashi. And Kakashi would smirk and smile and just kind of tell them that they did a great job. He would say that this whole exercise was about teamwork, but considering that those two managed to actually capture the bells, he guesses he'll let them slide. He tells them just to make sure to incorporate Sakura and not to be too complacent with their strength, and also telling them that they have to include her next time, saying that they are a 3-man team, not a 2-man team, as much as they did impress him. So following this, Kakashi would say, ramen, my treat, and everybody would kind of agree. This would be the first time that Naruto would try Ichiraku ramen, and because of the momentous occasion, can this video get a like? Yeah, I know I'm pushing it. But anyways though, Naruto eats ramen, and let's just say that Naruto loves it. Like, Naruto, upon taking his first bite, bro literally has a big O. And if you don't know what I mean, I basically mean orgasm. He experiences the big O, right? And after experiencing the big O, Naruto just asks for another plate. He has literally never had the opportunity to eat like this in his life. So he ends up eating like 4 bowls of this. And eventually, once he makes it back to Danzo, and Danzo's like, why is your posture weird? He tells him that he ate something outside. And Danzo would be like, very well, don't let it happen again. Because keep in mind, we have to keep you in tip-top shape. Your goals are to kill the current Kage, and we can't have you slacking at all for that. That man is very powerful, and we're going to be needing every advantage we could possibly get, starting with you, Naruto. And Naruto looks at the direction of Danzo, bows, and makes his way towards his room, as he would get a 1-hour nap before a bell would go off, and Naruto would have to report outside to begin his daily 5 hours of training. Eventually, after training for hours and hours, he eventually goes out, gets a 7-hour nap, and then before even meeting up with his comrades, Naruto has to train for 2 hours of intense, grueling training before showering, 15 minutes, and then making his way towards his team, in the next 5 minutes, right? Once he would end up arriving, Naruto just looks towards the direction of his team and would end up, just being like, okay, what's the mission? And they go on 1 week of C rank missions. Because this time they're older and they're definitely going to be a little bit more stronger, they can easily handle C rank missions a lot faster. And the D rank missions were more of a formality, if you would, right? So yeah, they go on the little thing, they do the missions, and eventually they would kind of be tired of it. So Hiruzen, or actually not Hiruzen, I forgot about that. Fugaku, since it is his son, would be like, Dad, I'm tired of these D rank missions. You know what I'm capable of. Kakashi Hatake has a Sharingan as well, and that Naruto kid is pretty strong. Or no, sorry, not Naruto, but Menma, right? Menma's pretty strong. So Fugaku, after hearing that, would be like, what about that Sakura girl? And Sasuke would say that she's more focused on him than anything else, but they'll be able to probably protect her if she stays close enough. Fugaku would kind of like laugh at that notion, and then he would tell Sasuke that he has the mission, that they just need to escort a bridge builder who he assumes is lying, and he's gonna let them take the mission, considering that he has not worried at all for whatever could happen during this mission. And that is a very bad thing, because just because we see Naruto and Sasuke getting 2 extra years of training doesn't mean that Zabuza and Haku won't get 2 extra years of training. Their ages stay the same. So Zabuza and Haku are more than stronger than they were in the original. 2 years worth of more stronger. And with Haku having more time to develop as a ninja and grow older, oh, let me tell you, it's over. You know what I mean? So eventually they do make their way towards the bridge builder. They meet him. The bridge builder, seeing as they are 14 and not 12 like they were in the original, so they're like not as short as they were. You know, they're still kind of short, but not that much. Naruto basically got to his full grown adult height already because of the drugs that Hiruzen, or wow, did I just say the D word? Dude, this video might actually just get the big yellow check mark. Hopefully it doesn't. But no, yeah. What's it called? Because he basically uses things, Naruto would be believed to be a lot more stronger, right? So Haku is a lot more stronger, Zabuza's a little bit more stronger. Y'all, I don't think y'all understand how worried I am, because when a video gets that yellow check from Susan, it literally makes no money. And all I'm gonna say, y'all, is this month did me dirty, because I was sick and I had a bunch of days where I didn't post. And since this is my full-time job and I haven't done a lot of it, I'm kind of a little lazy, not gonna lie. Your boy might not have a lot of money. So, it would mean like actually the entire world if you guys were to leave a like on this video to help it do a little bit better in the algorithm, but I digress. Okay, it was my fault. Anyways though, continuing on with the story, they eventually do end up running into the 2 demon brothers, just due to the fact that the water puddle would still be there, and Kakashi still obviously can see right through this genjutsu. Sasuke can as well, and Naruto, let's just say it's child's play to him. So the second that the demon brothers would end up approaching, Sasuke himself, without Naruto even having to act, would be able to take them both out single-handedly, causing Sakura to start purring, and Naruto would just kind of have a little smile on his face, seeing that he took them out just as fast as Naruto would, using the amount of power that he's allowed to use, of course. But ultimately they end up embarking on the mission, and so what would pretty much end up going down is that Naruto would just kind of look towards the direction of a white bunny, right? And he would throw a kunai at it, and eventually Sakura goes towards it, picks up the little scared white bunny, and she'd be like, Naruto, what was your problem? Right? And Naruto would immediately say, put that down. We're in immediate danger. Before she would say, what are you talking about? It's a bunny. No way you're scared of a little bunny. Before she puts it in his face, and Naruto just shrugs the bunny off, being like, get your head in the game. As he suddenly would then turn towards the direction of the forest, and a gigantic blade would come flying at them, top speed. Naruto and everybody else would dodge, and ultimately we get the grandiose introduction of Zabuza Momochi, right? Now, what would pretty much end up happening this time is that we don't have what happened in the original happen, where Haku and Zabuza are separate. Now we get the main bridge fight now. I'm talking right now, you know what I mean? And what would pretty much end up going down is that Haku would say, it's unfortunate that you two are the ones that are taking care of that bridge builder, but I guess I could spare you. I see that crescent on the back of your chest, on the back of your shirt, boy. You're of the Uchiha clan, and I could not help but recognize that eerily silver hair. Kakashi Hatake. Look, why don't we make this easier on the both of us? You hand over the bridge builder, nobody gets hurt. As easy as that. And then Kakashi lifts up his headband and says, no thanks, I'm good. I think I'd rather test my chances. And then Zabuza would say, well, it's your funeral. As from here, he proceeds to grab onto the blade, and Haku would create an ice blade of his own, right? As they would then both look towards the direction of Kakashi, who would ready himself for a fight, turn back towards the direction of Naruto and Sasuke, who are both side to side right next to him, and he would immediately say, whenever I give the signal, you rush. And they both nod, and Kakashi, within a split second, would like just blitz. Like they both instantly knew what the signal was. It literally was no signal. He just said that to throw Zabuza and Haku off. But all three of them rush in at the direction of them, and Naruto and Sasuke would both rush in at Haku, who Kakashi would say that they should both fight, with him facing off against Zabuza, who was a lot more powerful than he was in the original, to compensate for the fact that Kakashi is as well. So we're going to be saying that they're both still even, regardless of the fact that Kakashi has the Mangekyo ability. So as long as he can't tag him with the Kamui ability, I think that Zabuza would be able to keep up with him. That said though, eventually after minutes and minutes of actually not minutes, but like a couple minutes of fighting, eventually things would become clear that Kakashi definitely has the upper hand on Zabuza. However, it would also become unbearably clear that Sasuke was just absolutely not ready to handle somebody like Haku. That ice Kekkei Genkai was definitely getting to Sasuke. And with the fact that Sasuke's getting irritated more and more by the second, the anger that he has deep inside in the surface, because he still is Indra's reincarnation, would kind of turn to hatred for the fact that he's not strong enough to take this guy out easily like he thought he would, you know. He would pretty much end up getting angrier and angrier until ultimately it boils to the surface and Kurama's power would kind of explode out of Sasuke. Sasuke having this little outburst would send Naruto flying back slightly, and Naruto would get up, going over to turn towards Sasuke, who would blitz in at Haku, who would immediately proceed to freeze Sasuke in place. Like Haku quite literally just stomps, and Sasuke, who was just like blitzing at him in anger, like not really thinking about his movement, would do such a straightforward attack that no matter the speed, Haku stomps the foot and would freeze Sasuke completely. Sasuke can't move, and Haku was just about to shatter the mirror when suddenly Naruto comes in and elbows Haku right in the gut, like causing Haku to just like fall down onto one knee, grasping his stomach, just like begging for air. Like, did I really just make myself cough? Yeah, that's what Haku would do. Bro literally starts coughing. Oh, dude. I'm not cutting that out. Keep going. Okay, no, yeah. So what pretty much ends up happening is that Haku like starts coughing out of nowhere. Like that wasn't me. That was just me trying to show y'all what Haku was doing, all right? But yeah, Haku couldn't breathe, and then Naruto just proceeds to like seeing that Haku was already in a weakened state, Naruto just places a big ol' hand on top of Haku and says, word for word, I'm the biggest bird. As he places his hand on Haku, and the poison gets to Haku. Haku gets one tapped. Now from here, Naruto turns towards the direction of Kakashi, who simultaneously would be using the 1,000 bird technique, Chidori, and with this ability would be able to absolutely obliterate Zabuza. And following this, Naruto just kind of like chuckles underneath his breath, knowing what just happened, and ultimately would use a flame release jutsu to literally melt the ice off of Sasuke to the point where it actually does hurt Sasuke. Like the ice melts so fast that Sasuke actually gets like kind of burned due to the jutsu that Naruto used, and ultimately Sasuke gets mad at Naruto, but Naruto says that he beat this ninja, saying that he lost control and let the power of the Kyuubi out. Sasuke would end up gritting his teeth at the fact that he was able to beat him, which Sasuke actually finds kind of strange. He's not sure why, but for some reason, it's almost like Naruto's stronger than him. He's not too sure why this would be, but it just is the case. They eventually, after this, would end up making their way towards Tazuna's place of residence, and once they end up arriving, notice how I said that? I sounded so white. Not to be racist, but come on, y'all know what I mean. But anyways, actually, I can't be racist. I'm a minority. Bro's about to spew the most like bad comments of all time. No, but anyways, seriously, what pretty much ends up happening after this is that they make their way towards Tazuna's house. They chill. Inari has his little moment where he screams at the team. Sasuke's more level-headed, so obviously he doesn't say nothing. This version of Naruto has so much control over his emotions and just doesn't care what a kid has to say that he just doesn't even acknowledge Inari's existence in the table. Tsunami would end up cooking the most unbelievably delicious meal of their lives. They get down, and let's just say that following this, they all get down in the bathroom as well, right? But no, what pretty much ends up happening following this is that the team just kind of has a little bit of a time, seeing as they're all going to be spending the next couple of the next two week worth of nights together, since that's how long Tazuna's bridge building is going to take. They end up actually just kind of bonding together slightly. Naruto less than everybody else, but they kind of get to know each other a little better. They train together, they work on jutsus and stuff like that, team exercises and stuff, while they're not helping Tazuna build the bridge. And during this process, Naruto would ask how in the world they got the funding to do any of this, and Tazuna would just look at him and be like, kid, just 2 words. Actually, you know what? Not 2 words. Actually, you know what? Yeah, 2 words. Shop fandom.
As anime fans, we love to show our support to our favorite shows by rocking anime apparel. But something I'm pretty sure we can all agree on is it's so expensive. So I've partnered up with Fandom to bring you all affordable, high quality anime merch that you are sure to love. And if you use my code Xehther at checkout, you can even get an extra 10% off the already affordable merch. Keep in mind, it does come from overseas sellers, so its sizing is going to be different since it's overseas. That said, let's get back into the video.
Y'all see what I did there? Yeah, no, maybe. Okay, yeah, get back in the story. Okay, I got you. No, anyway, so continuing this, eventually Team 7, after completing this mission so effortlessly, because of Naruto, would end up making their way back towards the village. And what happens here? Do they end up encountering the Sand siblings? Is Orochimaru going to attack? Oh no, he's going to attack? No, he's not attacking. And no, they don't run into the Sand siblings. Now you guys might be like, oh, okay. Xehther, what's going on? Oh, what's happening here? Stop tickling my balls. And all right, I'm gonna tell you, okay? Look, so what pretty much ends up happening here is that because of the fact that Fugaku is Hokage, Orochimaru just absolutely wants none of the smoke, plus getting his hand on a Uchiha body would be a lot easier than you guys would think, considering that he can just kidnap any of these Uchiha kids, so it's not really the top list on his priority, and trying to face off against Fugaku for trying to take one of the Uchihas just isn't something that he wants to do, so Orochimaru stays away from the village. Because Orochimaru stays away from the village, there is no assault from the sand. Because there is no assault from the sand, there is no weird moments in the Chunin exam, so this arc is going to be more for just kind of like to pass the time and more so entertainment, and just to see how Naruto and the team interacts with the other teams and stuff like that, and to see if Naruto pulls any up. Naruto just kind of lives his life. During this time, what would pretty much end up occurring is that Naruto just trains, he continues training, and one of these particular days would actually have happened that they end up meeting up as a team. On this particular day, Shisui, the teleporter, would end up actually be walking around the area. And when he ends up noticing Sasuke, he makes his way over there. Immediately, he jumps on top of Sasuke, ruffling up his hair and asking if the little guy's been giving them problems. And Kakashi surprisingly would say that Sasuke's a phenomenal shinobi. Shisui says of course he is Itachi's brother after all, and Sasuke would feel kind of embarrassed at the fact that he said that. He'd be like, shut up Shisui. Shisui would say, you know it's true Sasuke. But anyways, what y'all doing? Y'all planning for a mission or something like that? As he says those words, he would look directly into the eyes of Naruto, and just something about those eyes, like Shisui just looks into the gaze of Naruto and he just knows, I don't trust this guy. Shisui just feels like, I don't like the vibe this guy's giving off. So what Shisui would inevitably end up doing is just looking at Naruto for a split second longer. Like, Shisui has been around the block more than enough to know when somebody is just not to be trusted. So what Shisui does is wanting to make sure that his like quote unquote slash like kind of younger brother Sasuke Uchiha, who he sees as one, doesn't ever end up getting hurt, and would make sure that this guy doesn't like secretly turn on the village the way he thinks he might. He ends up placing Naruto under Koruo Matsukami. Now, the one that he would use is the one that takes like 1 year to regenerate every use, seeing as he hasn't had to use it in the past year, and he uses it on Naruto. And you guys might be like, okay, Xehther, what's going on here? Come on, you can't tell me this isn't a cool idea. But anyways, no, continuing on with the story, this is a bit of plot armor, but just hear me out, okay? It's necessary for my big plans, okay? So just hear me out. Naruto, he gets placed under Koruo Matsukami. He is kind of like just like, oh, what do I do? You know what I mean? Since he doesn't realize he's placed under the Genjutsu, Shisui was able to just do whatever in the world he wants. And what Shisui does with this Koruo Matsukami Genjutsu is places a seed into Naruto's mind to want to protect Sasuke, to actually think of him as more than just some person, to think of him as a friend, a comrade. And also, he would place one other thing in Naruto's mind: wanting to protect Konoha at any cost, being loyal to the village. And most importantly, being loyal to Fugaku, making sure that Naruto isn't secretly plotting some crazy stuff. It would be almost as if Naruto had like a 180 switch just hit on him. And eventually, for the following week that would lead up to the Chunin exams, Naruto would actually end up kind of talking to Sasuke way more than he would have normally, right? This throws Sasuke off a bit because he's like, I never thought Naruto was actually going to talk to me ever. But Naruto was just doing it like it's like nothing, you know what I mean? They're finally talking to each other. They're having a good time, you know? Everything's great. And things honestly just couldn't be better. Like, seriously, they just genuinely could not be better. So what would pretty much end up happening because of this is we end up having a really interesting arc of Chunin exams, which is pretty much just the meeting of the other Konoha 12, right? Now, before that has to happen, we get the introduction of Rock Lee, and since they don't meet the the Sand siblings yet, the Sand siblings, by the way, are still in the Chunin exams, just so you guys know. And there is also a bunch of other Uchihas in the Chunin exams, and there's like more than one Uchiha in Sasuke's class. Wait, no, there isn't, because even in the original, when the Uchihas were alive, he was the only Uchiha class member who was part of the Konoha 12. So let's say that there's some older Uchihas who are trying to become Jonin, or no, not Jonin, but Chunin, and you know, they're in the exam too as well, because like, why not? They're like his far cousins or relatives or whatever. But anyways, continuing on forward with the story, what pretty much ends up happening is that they make their way towards the Genin place where they learned everything that they know. They end up walking into one of the classrooms, and inside of one, they end up finding the proctor and stuff like that. And they see a bunch of other people that are all giving them very dirty looks. But before I cover this, I forgot to cover the Rock Lee encounter. Okay, yeah, Rock Lee encounter. How do I think that this one would play out? Naruto, with his status, seeing as Sasuke was still the Rookie of the Year, I do definitely think Sasuke would get challenged by Rock Lee. And with Sasuke getting challenged by Rock Lee, I definitely do think that Naruto would want to like step up and be like, yo, don't do it. Because of that, I want to protect Sasuke type mentality that's going on right now. But ultimately, Sasuke would be like, get out of my way, Naruto. Like, you're not my dad or nothing to tell me what to do. And Naruto just kind of has to watch Sasuke get into his fighting stance, and Naruto would be paying close attention to Sasuke, seeing exactly how he does things and all that stuff. And ultimately, Sasuke faces off against Rock Lee. Now, keep in mind, Rock Lee had 2 extra years to train. Now, we do have to keep another thing in mind. During those 2 extra years to train that Rock Lee has in the original, bro's strength, it almost looks like doesn't even end up really improving. So I'm going to be saying that with Sasuke having the abilities that he does have access to right now, and a Tsutomoe Sharingan in each eye, I'm going to say that he would actually be able to keep up with Rock Lee with his weights on, right? He would be just about to take them off when suddenly this turtle would come in and like he stops the fight completely. He's like, Rock Lee, how could you do this? And then suddenly a guy with bushy eyebrows ends up arriving, obviously my guy, stopping the fight, leading Naruto not to have to step in and reveal everything that he knows. Ultimately, they end up going into the exam proctor area where, they are before they take the exam. And once they end up arriving, one certain girl has her eyes on Naruto more than all of the other girls that are in that room. And this certain person would actually be Ino Yamanaka. Now you guys might be like, yo, Xehther, what's up with that? Like, why Ino? Like, you could have picked literally any of the other girls and I wouldn't have been upset. Okay, look, hear me out. Naruto's hair looks just like Ino. He has green eyes. And, Ino is not bad of a ship. So I'm going to be saying that Ino just walks up to Naruto and, she just goes Grizzly Bear mode. You know what I mean? She starts spitting some game at my boy. And let's just say that Naruto, he doesn't really feel the game. Like her game sucks, but she is attractive to Naruto. And, even though Naruto is kind of like, I'm not all about emotions. Like, I don't get carried away. I'm focused on the mission. Naruto does have two minds, and he's thinking with his other one right now, okay? And this would lead Naruto down a very strange road, because Naruto actually gives Ino the time of day. They talk. Sakura is shocked. She's like, what? Like, I was never able to make him talk like that. And so she would ultimately stick her tongue out towards Ino, but she would just be thinking to herself, more Sasuke for me. And that's ultimately the only thing stopping her from freaking out and being like, cha, you know what I mean? But ultimately, following this interaction that they would have, however small it might be, Naruto would end up talking to Ino. By the way, Hinata doesn't like Naruto in this version, seeing as she doesn't know him, and Naruto in this version of things never actually ends up saving Hinata in the snow like he would have in the original. So yeah, she doesn't have a crush on him, nor will ever have a reason to have one on him. So I figured that having Ino be the sort of like main crush thing that Naruto's going to be having going on for the story would definitely work perfectly for the purposes of what I'm trying to do. Ultimately though, what pretty much ends up happening after this is that they would have the testing portion. It's no problem. This time around, Naruto was more than smart enough and capable enough to not let his team down. Sasuke using his Sharingan aces it. And Sakura, being the book brain worm that she is, would easily pass because she just studies a lot, right? Just like Naruto. However, she was enforced to as long as Naruto has, and ultimately what would pretty much end up happening is they go towards the Forest of Death. Inside of said Forest of Death, they don't end up encountering no real big threats. So what I'm going to be saying happens is that they immediately run into the team that actually has the scroll that they're going to be needing, and ultimately they make their way towards the Chunin Tower, where they would be told that they're actually the second people to arrive. The first being, actually no, I'm going to say first because Gaara was busy like trying to kill more people and stuff like that, since he was completely unhinged and losing all that stuff. So they end up arriving first, and then ultimately the Sand Squad ends up arriving. This is where they end up kind of meeting each other and seeing each other for the first time, so that like all this anticipation and stuff like that could like finally come through. Like, let's say this was the original version of Naruto just now would end up meeting the Sand siblings, right? And so what would pretty much end up happening after this is they have preliminary battles a couple of days later, after all of the other teams would finally end up passing and making their way towards the room where they were all going to be waiting and getting the scrolls and finding out the secret to the scrolls, right? What pretty much ends up happening is we get the same battles as in canon. Naruto absolutely obliterates the guy who he beats in the original, considering he doesn't have the curse mark this time to hold him back. And because he doesn't have the curse mark, this might affect him in the future. Actually, no, scratch that. No, it will not. Because he doesn't have the curse mark, nothing happens. If anything, he has Kurama, so it's balanced out. And Naruto, who this time around would end up still fighting Kiba, would absolutely body Kiba. Now, he does do so in quite a very disrespectful manner, I would say. Bro sprinkles disrespect in there like a pinch of salt, and would quite literally, just the second that Kiba would use his Fang over Fang ability on Naruto, he would just walk in there smugly being like, who are you? Like, you're nobody. You weren't even with us in the academy. I bet you're weak, yada, yada, yada. Would immediately use Fang over Fang on Naruto, being like, Fang over Fang, rushing in, and Naruto would like create another clone of himself. As he says, that ability looks pretty easy to copy. Bro, listen to me. Naruto copies him. He copies him. All the ability is, keep in mind, is him spinning really, really, really fast with his doppelganger. with another version of himself, and Naruto copies him, clashing with Kiba's fang over fang, and would actually tie it, causing Kiba to be shocked at the fact that he learned his jutsu so fast. Like, bro might as well have had a Sharingan, or might as well have been a distant relative of an Uchiha. So how good he was able to do that. But ultimately, what would pretty much end up happening is after that display of power, Naruto, using Kenjutsu and his body flicker ability, would slash at the back of Kiba and then sheath his sword back in anime swordsman style, leading everybody to be shocked at the power of Naruto. Sasuke grits his teeth, being sort of jealous of Naruto, and following this, what would pretty much end up happening is that Sasuke storms out of there. He then rushes towards Itachi and would be like, I need you to train me like never before. My comrade is stronger than me. Like, what's up with that? Like, I can't let that happen. So instead of training with, Kakashi like he does in the original and learning the Chidori, I'm going to be saying that he trains with Itachi for most of it. And so he ends up working more on Genjutsus, more on Shuriken Jutsu, more on the strategic side of things, right? He works with Shisui, right? He works with Shisui. You would teach him more of the body flicker and stuff like that, and even more Sharingan stuff. So this would lead Sasuke to getting the 3 Tomoe in one eye and the 2 Tomoe in the other, being fairly close to unlocking the perfected Sharingan. And even though Sasuke knows he won't fight Naruto in the first round, he knows he might fight him in the second if he does lose to the Hyuga prodigy, that is. So he's banking that he might even have to face off against him. And ultimately, on the last 2 days before the Chunin exams, just because I feel like the Chidori is integral to Sasuke's character, I'm going to say that Sasuke would be caught off guard by Kakashi, who asked him if he would want to learn a jutsu. Sasuke says yes, and eventually he would end up learning the jutsu of the Chidori. During this 1 month of training, Naruto wouldn't be available or even like around at all to like do any training with Jiraiya until ultimately about 1 week into the month of training they have. Jiraiya would end up requesting that he would be able to, oh no, Naruto's dead. There's literally no way for Jiraiya to teach Naruto the Rasengan or the summoning jutsu or any of that stuff. So let's say that instead of that, Naruto would be given a random scroll and he would just be told by Danzo what the summoning scroll is, and Naruto would just kind of use the summoning jutsu to find out, okay, what animal am I going to be like linked with? Like, what animal am I going to be having a summoning contract with? And Naruto would actually reverse summon himself straight into not Miyaboku, but the snake Ryu cave or something. I don't know. Whatever the cave is for snakes, because they're venomous, they're venomous creatures, and Naruto is poison, venom, poison. I think that's the same thing. I'm not sure. They're poisonous creatures, right? So Naruto naturally would be in summoning contract with something that can poison you. So yeah, that's like the whole logic behind why I did that. But yeah, anyways, continuing on with the story, what would pretty much end up happening is that Naruto signs a contract. No, he doesn't learn Sage Mode. That's way too broken. I can't have Naruto already be Kage level and then give him Sage Mode on top of that. That is just not fair. Oh, by the way, during this 1 month of training, something I completely forgot to even tell you guys is that during this month of training, Naruto would actually be tasked with the killing of Fugaku to help him take out Danzo, and that he's going to be creating a distraction sometime in the middle of Sasuke Uchiha's fight against Gaara to make sure that he can get one-on-one with Fugaku with himself involved, and using the 4th Prism Jutsu thing, and also with the fact that he has a bunch of different ninjas coming to like kind of attack the village and do all this crazy stuff. Danzo is sure that they can defeat the 4th Hokage, and so the plan would pretty much be enacted. However, because of the fact that Naruto has had the Kodomatsu Kami Jutsu placed on him, I'm gonna say that Sasuke gives Naruto the antidote to the poison that he uses, right? Now, his poison is like an all-in-one antidote. Like, if you have the antidote, which only one person has, which Danzo is aware of, and that is himself, would be able to, not die to Naruto's poison, right? However, because Naruto, after so many years, would have finally figured out that this is Danzo's, like that's obviously how Danzo doesn't die, Naruto would end up concocting his own antidote to his own poisons, just in case he ever does want to, maybe not off somebody, maybe not send somebody to the next realm. So what would pretty much end up happening ultimately is that Naruto gives this scroll towards the direction of Sasuke. And with this information, he would give it to Fugaku, as he would specifically tell him the ins and outs of his jutsu and how this antidote would come very much into use if he was to ever face off against him or something like that. Being like giving very, very big foreshadowing to the fact that might happen. So Fugaku, being the very interesting Hokage, would eventually end up creating the antidote and pretty much just having it handy with him on this particular day. It's easy. He just has he's pretty good with seals, so he can just create a seal for it and make it pop up at any time, right? So pretty much what ends up happening is that eventually the first battle would happen. Naruto versus Neji Hyuga. Who cares? It's not even the main part of this video, okay? Neji versus Naruto, it's just a one-sided stomp. Naruto finally does unveil his poison ability in front of everybody, and he ends up one-tapping Neji, who ultimately would end up almost dying had it not been for Naruto See, what Naruto does to Neji is ultimately the second that the battle starts, Neji would get into fighting stance and would be getting ready to just get close and try to fight Naruto. But Naruto would say, I wouldn't do that if I was you. And ultimately green smoke would come off of his body as it eventually enters Neji's nose because he can't just not breathe. And once Neji inhales it, he would just fall to the ground, basically becoming paralyzed, having cramps all over his body, and not being able to breathe anything whatsoever. Eventually, after Neji taps out and he's trying to breathe, Naruto would finally end up using his own ability to suck out the gas from his lungs. He controls his own poison inside of Neji's body and would force the poison to get sucked out of him and re-enter Naruto's body. Because of this, Neji would barely survive with treatment from the very, very best medical ninjas. And after this, we have the battle between not Naruto, but Sasuke and Gaara. Just like he would in the original, Gaara creates the dome, Sasuke uses the Chidori, and ultimately during this time, we would have a distraction by Danzo. Danzo would end up attacking Fugaku. And we eventually get a 2v1 situation where it's Naruto, where it's Naruto and Danzo versus Fugaku Uchiha, the literal Kage of the village, versus Naruto and Danzo. And the battle would immediately not start off. Instead, what would end up happening is that Danzo would immediately monologue, saying how Fugaku and those damned Uchihas have been in control for far too long. That back when that accursed Minato died, he should have been the one given power. But because he wasn't, now sadly Fugaku must die. And after he takes care of him, he'll make sure to wipe out the Uchihas from the map. Fugaku would say that he should watch his tone if he was him, saying that there's no way the Uchihas would just let that happen, right? And ultimately, Danzo would say, I know, which is why I'm going to make them have it happen by wiping them out. And Fugaku would grit his teeth in anger as he immediately blitzes at Danzo, who would just kind of die at the first instant of Fugaku using his Mangekyo ability, and then would come back to life using the ability of coming back to life. He only has 3 more Uchiha eyes from fallen Uchiha warriors in battle, which he would have used Hashirama's DNA to implant himself with the arm. So he has 3 extra lives. But after coming back, Danzo looks to Naruto and tells him to kill him. And Naruto would immediately start off the battle by just using his gas form to send it towards Fugaku. Fugaku, immediately seeing this happen, remembers what Sasuke would have told him, summons the little antidote thing, and drinks it very, very quickly behind a mud wall before the gas could reach him. Ultimately it does, and Fugaku, using a wind style jutsu, would end up shooting the gas right back towards the direction of Naruto. Naruto, immediately seeing that his plan's working, would then eventually begin getting closer and closer with his blade, which is actually laced with poison, and would go in and try to cut towards the skin of Fugaku Uchiha. Fugaku wouldn't actually get caught off guard by this, and Fugaku would actually be able to barely dodge these attacks using a kunai, but ultimately Naruto would end up slashing at Fugaku, and the sword would barely nape the bare part of his skin, just kind of barely breaking skin. And then ultimately Fugaku would like fall onto one knee feeling the effects of the poison, but would like get back up. His face is like turning green a bit, but the antidote would finally start kicking in and the effects would like kind of like reverse themselves, leading to Fugaku standing back up, you know, activating his Mangekyo prowess, and just like pow, the sound effect would play and Naruto would just drop to the ground. Following this, Danzo looks at the direction of Fugaku and would be like, how did you survive? He should have killed you. Nobody has ever survived that. And then, you know, Fugaku says, that kid's not a traitor to me. He's a traitor to you. And would ultimately kill Danzo 3 more times, leading to Danzo's eventual defeat and Naruto's final freedom to Danzo's like just horrible reign that he has been having over the village for so long. Naruto being placed under this subtle genjutsu by Shisui would have basically ended up saving everything. Oh, and also, after the fight would happen, Fugaku realizing that Gaara is completely on edge because of the fact that his Shukaku wouldn't really be held inside of himself too well, would kind of do him the favor of resealing it and telling him to chill out, which would lead Gaara to have his character progression that he would in the original. And ultimately following this, we end up having a scene in which Naruto was taken to an interrogation room and asked a bunch of questions. Naruto would then be told by Fugaku what in the world happened, and Naruto explains everything, top to bottom, telling Fugaku how he was taken as a child and that his name is Naruto Uzumaki, or Namikaze, and that he is the son of the 4th Hokage, Minato. What's his name? I was about to say Minato Uzumaki, but no, Minato Namikaze. By the way, quick water break. Not gonna lie, it is very, very, very hard to keep recording and just be chilling. By the way, it's 5:33 right now as I'm recording this video, so I'm dying and my throat is very dry. So yeah, let's continue on with the story. Okay, so following everything that I just said, what pretty much ends up going down is that Naruto, after telling them everything, and Shisui even comes in and uses Kodo Matsukami on Naruto, would finally end up asking Naruto, you know, like why he never said anything. And Naruto wouldn't like say anything, but they kind of just realized that Danzo must have done something not to allow him to say anything. They removed the seal, and following this, Naruto would finally be able to actually say something, right? And once he does, they're just like shocked. The fact that Danzo's been able to do all this for so long, that they didn't know that Naruto was in the village, that they didn't know that Naruto was as powerful as he is. And Fugaku would ask Naruto if it's true, like what Danzo said, like had he not had the antidote, would Fugaku have just instantly died? And Naruto says, oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. Like I 100% would have soloed you. And you know, Fugaku would kind of take that as a hit to his ego and be like, ah yeah, whatever kid. And ultimately after this, we would have a 3-year time skip. During this time skip, Gaara becomes Kage, Naruto gets even more powerful, he gets with Ino, and ultimately Naruto makes a baby Naruto. Bro turns, oh actually no, he's 14, no, 14, 17, no, not yet. Give it 3 more years. Let bro at least be 20. Come on, I don't want to do him that dirty. No, but yeah, Naruto ends up, I'm not gonna say making a baby Naruto, but man, it's catching up to me. I'm telling y'all, it's catching up to me. It's bad. Like the amount of tiredness that I'm experiencing right now is atrocious. No, but yeah, seriously, what pretty much ends up happening is that Naruto would finally just like, he's just healed. You know what I mean? Like he just feels better. And during this time skip, Naruto would end up getting a whole lot stronger, finally developing personality, which is like the biggest W of the series, and also would actually become genuine friends with Sasuke, would become genuine friends with Sakura, and would develop a relationship with Ino Yamanaka. After Yamanaka. And eventually, one random day when Team 7 is just straight vibing after having completed like hundreds of missions during this time skip, we end up actually getting an S rank mission for them, which is to retrieve the Kazekage Gaara. And because they end up receiving the mission thing very, very fast, and they have, you know, very good connection with the sand and stuff like that, they have a very good relationship with that village, Naruto, Sasuke, and Team 7 would immediately be sent out. Like Fugaku's best team, other than, you know, Shisui and, you know, Itachi Uchiha, who is obviously one of his best men, you know, like they get their jobs done very, very quickly, very, very efficiently. So, you know, they're obviously his other go-to choices. But for this particular instance, I'm just going to be saying that they're the ones that get chosen. And ultimately, Team 7 would make their way. Once they end up arriving towards the area, Naruto sees, like I said in the beginning of the video, Kankuro. And because he sees Kankuro and he sees that he's poisoned, Naruto just kind of has like this look on his face of like, oh, poison. I got it. He immediately creates an anti-poison for him, and then the mission would continue. Lady Chiho would end up going with them, telling them that, you know, Sasori's puppets are laced with poison and that she's the only one that knows the antidote. And Naruto would say, poison? You want to talk to me about poison? Naruto immediately, as soon as Sakura would punch a hole through the rock, after, of course, having Tsunade return to the village during that time skip and being trained by her, would then end up pretty much watching as Naruto enters the place. And just upon entering, Naruto just looks at the direction of Sasori and Deidara and would just be like, as like green fog comes out of his mouth. And no, it's not his breath, but it is definitely poison. Poison ends up entering the atmosphere, and Sasori and Deidara, who have to breathe, mind you, would end up like inhaling it, right? Ultimately, they both are just like, and they pass out, like they literally just die on sight. And Sasuke just like walks in and he's like, dude, people who don't know about your jutsu are actually like so unlucky. And Naruto says, tell me about it. Anyways, grab his body, I'm pretty sure he's dead. And then, you know, they rush over towards Gaara, see that he actually is dead, and see that Naruto like genuinely doesn't care. And Sasuke is like, dude, you genuinely have no reaction to people when they die. And Naruto says, Sasuke, by the time I was 14, how many people do you think I was responsible for killing alone? And Sasuke just looks at him and says, yeah, I forgot about that. As Naruto says, I haven't. Trust me, I haven't. And Sasuke just looks back at Naruto and says, yeah, I get you. As from here, he picks up the body and Lady Chiho would be like, wait, don't bury him. Let me save him. Naruto would be like, what are you talking about? And then ultimately she uses the jutsu that she uses in the original to revive him, leading the team to return back to the village. And because Itachi's not with the Akatsuki isn't half as powerful as it would be in the original, because they did definitely just lose a very vital member. They don't have Sasuke to go retrieve Killer B. So instead, what pretty much ends up happening when it comes to the Akatsuki after this is that Asuma dies because they had no reinforcements, and eventually Team 7 as well as Team Asuma would arrive, get their revenge on Hidan and Kakuzu. And once this ends up happening, eventually Nagato would end up striking the village, or should I say the 6 paths of pain. This is finally where Naruto's poison abilities won't even work because of the sheer fact that, hey, they are not like living people. They can't just inhale the poison and just die, you know what I mean? So this would be like the first time that Naruto would actually realize, hey, this person didn't die to my poison. Like, what's up with that? Oh, I just realized Sasori wasn't even a human either. Let's just say that Naruto and Sasuke, let's just say Sasuke pierces him with the Chidori instead. Okay, yeah, that works. And when Naruto sees that the paths of pain are like attacking the village, he goes out, but ultimately Fugaku steps out. And because of the fact that there's so many Uchihas, there's so many more like people who could actually face off against the pain invasion, the pain invasion would go a whole lot easier than it was in canon. I mean, Itachi's here for like crying out loud. Itachi in the original was able to beat a like not holding back Nagato. So I think that's all I need to say. Like, come on, do y'all really want me to cover this fight when it's already been animated? Naruto, Fugaku, Sasuke, Kakashi, all of them are there, straight ready to bop this man. It's not even a contest. This means that Obito is just unable to like do anything to them. He has to bite his hands, he has to bite his cards, and he has to just wait for the perfect moment. Obito is unable to do anything, which ultimately leads that he has to wait more time. More time means that the main characters would get even more powerful, and eventually once Obito Obito does end up arriving to the village, I'm not going to say he gets one shot because that's just not true. Obito's ability of phasing through things would definitely be a problem, but once they end up finding out that Kakashi has his ability to link to it, I think that it's just a one-sided GG either way. And because of the fact that he doesn't have Orochimaru on his side, because let's just say that Orochimaru is just not willing to F with the Leaf Village, he loses. And yeah. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was the ending to What If Naruto Had a Poison Kekkei Genkai. Let me know what you guys thought about this what if down below in the comments section, and if you guys think that I definitely popped off with this one, or if you guys thought that it was a lazy work to this idea and that it could have been better, longer, better scripted, anything. Let me know any comments that you guys have down below and I'll definitely make sure to check them out. Also, keep in mind I will be responding to all the comments that are placed on this video within 10 hours. And also, ladies and gentlemen, it would actually mean the absolute world to me if you guys were to leave a like on this video. I've been up a very long, and seriously, it would just make my day. But that being said though, ladies and gentlemen, it has been your boy Xehther. I'm gonna go to sleep. Peace.